dramatically from what we were doing. It's all good, gentlemen. We are back. We are live. The root of all real estate. Another episode.
Mr. Zikri, how are you today?
1,600.
I wanted to discuss something. I heard that.
Go ahead, Mike. You have the mic.
You're taking some time off.
Sure.
Are you excited?
Oh, sure.
Why not? Dude, you're going for two. You're leaving.
Man,
for
I'm just
2
thinking of what's
weeks.
waiting for me when I come back.
You're
It's
not-
too much.
Imagine
I can't,
it's
man, I
you're
can't.
already in vacation when you're here.
Well,
So imagine.
exactly. So why would I need a
Actually, no.
vacation, man?
Imagine not being
I'm
at the
already here.
office.
You need a vacation off your vacation.
Probably work more over there.
No, you won't. Stop
Probably
it.
not. It's all good.
But
But-
your wife won't allow you.
Oh no. Well, yeah.
Unless
okay,
she
it's okay.
sleeps.
We won't talk about it on the live. It's all good. But we have an interesting conversation today, guys. We start on the French version, but I wanted us to talk about how are you supposed to react as a broker or entrepreneur, right? Basically, any client-facing business in a hostile situation. So you guys came up with quite a few examples. It was interesting. But
Be the bigger man. Or
be the
woman.
bigger man, Jeff
Or
says.
person. Be the bigger person.
And then he said he would be another John Wick. So I don't know which to believe anymore.
I have it. Everybody has a dark side.
True.
Everybody
True.
has a. I'm retired from my dark side.
Used to get paid for it.
John Wick is one of my favorite persona
That is
of all time.
very worrisome, but it's okay.
He's
But, yeah,
so
Tell me
good,
about it.
so good at his
Craft.
his craft. He's so good, but no, obviously I won't get to that extent. I mean,
You're not a murderer.
Okay, this is
Which I
getting out of
cannot-
hand.
I cannot
So let's-
disclose.
no, disclose it
cannot
because there's going to be
disclose.
investigations.
hey, bring it on.
Oh,
But
my God.
no, you have to be the bigger person. You got to allow
You gotta
yourself
do what
to
you gotta do.
no, you have to allow yourself to just be respectful. You have a responsibility as a
Yeah.
professional.
Mike,
Yeah.
tell us the story you were telling us in French. So what do you do in you told us a few of your clients were very hostile during your broker years and so on.
I
but-
think that what you have to do, it seems very difficult to do because I think it's something you've got to master, is to learn how to de-escalate a situation that's too elevated. Oftentimes we get emotionally involved with a situation, even though we're really passionate about what we do. And I don't think that you're going to get anywhere if the message is not getting across. So I think that the first thing we need to do is to understand the root of the problem. And if we're able to figure that out, then I think we'll be in the right path in solving that issue. And I think that's where brokers need to collaborate to get to that point.
It was very poetic. I love
He's
it.
good.
I love it.
Mike is
He's on
Mike
a
is
roll
good.
today.
And
He's on a
Steve
roll.
Tacker says it. Mike nailed it.
Yeah, that's not his first comment, but sure.
See,
I
I
don't
wanna
know if we
have-
should
we-
say it again.
Steve, we already sent you the invitation, but Steve is going to be one of our guests very soon. I'm just putting you on the spot, Steve, and I want to hear one of his. Steve is a great storyteller,
Yeah,
so he's going to be
and
very,
Steve
very
seems to have
entertaining.
great solutions here
Yeah.
every
He has
single
it.
time.
Yeah,
but
yeah. He's a great storyteller. Myself, I had an opportunity to talk to him a couple times, and I've heard some of his stories. And he's a person that's very well composed. You know, when it comes to situations that he could get angry, I still feel that he's well composed.
Yes,
which begs the question: why is he proposing these companies every time we have these conversations? I don't understand. I don't want to understand either. But it's okay.
Experience.
Yeah, experience. Well, that's not reassuring at all. But it's okay. But you know what? If for anybody, any broker that went through a hostile situation, please let us know in the comments. Say what happened, how you were able to handle it. You know what, guys? A question that we had in the French version, and you discussed it. But Mike, I wanted to get your opinion on emotional intelligence, because that's pretty much what it boils down to, right? In a hostile situation, it doesn't have to do with your skills as a broker. It doesn't have to do with who you are or how you handle the situation of the transaction per se, but really just in the moment, how do you act as per your emotional intelligence? How can you work on that?
well,
would
you
say.
cannot work on that on the spot.
Not on the spot, but exactly how can you be prepared for
I think
when
over
this
time, it happens over time through experience and different things that you've been through throughout your life. If you look at results that you've had. Maybe when you were in high school, maybe you did some things that maybe you regret now, and you can look back and say, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or maybe the result of my actions gave me something else. I think that long term, you got to look at your career, you got to look at what you're doing and what you're representing. You get into an altercation with somebody in a parking lot over a parking spot, over something stupid like that, can destroy your whole reputation and everything that you have just because of a parking spot. So sometimes you'll be like, you know what? Let me park another few meters away. It's not like I'll lose extra weight. I'll walk to the Costco. I won't.
Who are you
fight
talking to?
But I mean, I won't. The point is that sometimes it's not worth it.
Well, is it worth it? Like, is there any situations that's
Is it
actually
ever
worth
worth
it?
it? Yeah,
Is it
exactly.
ever
Yes,
worth
there
it
are situations that are
to-
worth it. If your kids are in danger,
Yes.
if you're in a
yes. No, but I
situation
mean,
like that,
in a-
somebody
in a
breaks into your house.
professional-
No, but you could still get a criminal record. You still get arrested for something like that, where you felt that your family was in danger until you were able to prove that you were defending them. But until then, a lot of things can happen. It can still destroy your reputation for a period of time. So I mean, like, I would do anything, for people that I care about. If I had to get into a situation to protect them, yeah, I would, by any means necessary, because that's the way I am. But I wouldn't if there was a situation that I
Disclaimer
can
is
walk
coming.
away from, like a parking spot or something like that, or
There's no parking spot worth it. That's worth
no,
it.
that's what I said. I wouldn't fight for a parking
Except
spot.
at Costco. Costco is very hard.
The Costco parking
Or better yet,
spot.
Gabriel, let's say you're sitting at a bar with a friend or something, and then you get up and you go to the washroom and you come back, and then the guy goes, "Hey, that's my seat.
Yeah.
Get out of my seat."
Have a good night.
You'd get up and walk away.
Of course.
Okay.
I ain't getting no attempted murder on my record for a seat. I'll stand. I don't care.
I'm not giving my seat.
Really?
Nah.
Give up your seat or we're going to have a problem.
Okay.
I
I
know.
know. I'm not
Exactly.
giving my seat.
You're not giving. I think you would, Joe.
No.
If it's us talking to you, I don't think all the confidence in the world's not gonna help
No.
you.
You know why?
Why?
Because I know. Because every place I go, I know people. I'll leave it at that.
On a plane?
Yeah. I know the pilot. At least I'll make you believe that I know the pilot.
So basically, Jeff's solution is to say, "Daddy, they won't stop." Oh, it's okay. Well, no, it's for sure. Having a network, having contacts will help. Nick Sebastiani is telling us that apparently a book called Fierce Conversations could be a good book on this subject.
Really?
So
I'll
thank
look
you,
it
Nick.
up.
We'll definitely look it
Fierce
up.
conversations.
We should put it in the. Oh yeah. So we have Julian reminding us that Etienne is about to start this book club after the conversation we had with Wasim. So
Sure.
we'll add it on.
Sure.
So we'll Fierce Conversations. So if you guys can write that down. You know what, guys? I had a crazy story also to tell you. We'll go on a little break because I didn't have a chance to tell you during the
I wanna
French,
hear
but it
that
was quite interesting. So the just before we tell you that story, the Mela Group is in many obviously fields and departments, including residential, commercial, and new construction. We will show you one of our recent projects, and we'll be right back with you.
You should use. It's okay to remain composed, but you should stand up for yourself. If it's a physical altercation, you're allowed to. You're allowed to. Make to stand up for yourself.
By law, you can defend yourself. By law. I don't know, if someone hits you, you hit them back or you block them. I don't know how that works, but you're allowed to defend yourself if you feel that your life is in danger or anything of that nature.
Yeah. No, you should never be scared just because you're a broker. You have a reputation that at any extent, I should never react this and that. Sometimes you do have to put your foot down because it could escalate very quickly if you don't in the wrong way. So no, definitely. Just before the story, we had Steve here that gave an answer on the actual title. So how to deal with the hostile situation. He's saying to breathe, bring oxygen in your brain, and recompute. So to basically stay composed. I'm saying is what he's saying. So
Probably the best.
Wise word of it. No, my God,
wise words by Steve.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the story, there was a $4 million property on the water that I.
That's it.
That was it was only 4 million. I'm sorry, Jeff. It's not to your level. But so basically, we were finalizing the transaction, and the owner the day of, the notary wouldn't show up at the notary. Wasn't there. It was time to sign everything. $4 million. The truck is outside. Everything is ready to go. No answer. We try to contact her. Nothing. So I drive to the after an hour at the notary. I'm like, okay, well, look, she's not answering. Let me try to go at the house, see if the car's there, see what's happening. Maybe something happened. So
maybe she forgot.
Yeah, she forgot about the $4 million.
It wasn't 3 p.m. It was 3 a.m.
Exactly. She was there just 12 hours later. So I show up there. The car's there. Like, she probably overslept. It's about noon, 1 o'clock, right?
Overslept
so like,
at
overslept. Yeah, you don't know, right? I'm like, what else could it be, right?
She went clubbing the night before.
You never know.
It could be
to
anything.
Celebrate the fact that she
Sure.
sold her house.
Turns out, I rang the doorbell and she opens the door right away. Like it's like she was like right there. No, she was dressed and everything. And she's like, yes. And I'm like, what do you mean yes? Like you're my client. I don't understand. I'm like, where were you? We have the notary's happening right now. Like, why aren't you ready? She's like, no, you know what? No, I'm not selling. No. And she closes the door. And I was like, what just happened? What is this? I ring again. She has a yes. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not selling? I don't understand. Can you talk to me? Like, what's going on? No, I changed my mind. I had a change of heart last night and no, you can tell them to go find something else. And she closes the door again. And I was like, all right, I'm not ringing a third time. I'm not doing this. So I leave. I call the buyers. I call the notary. I say, okay, well, she doesn't want to move forward.
But at this point, she has an obligation, doesn't she?
100%.
Yeah.
This lasted 9 months.
No.
9 months. The cops were involved because she don't want to leave the house. She started destroying the house. She's like, no, if I'm going to leave, I'm going to make sure you get nothing in it. And it was a whole 9 months of drama because she had an obligation to do it. Let's say that I didn't want to deal with this type of property anymore. But no, it was quite interesting. The buyers ended up obviously moving in and so on.
You
but
kept
not
your composure.
I kept my composure. I kept my commission. I kept everything.
I like the commission came right very quick.
I wouldn't be that invested in it if it was a charity work. But
No, you should.
no.
Was there a collaborating broker?
No.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
I
That would have complicated things a little bit.
yeah, no, that was
I understand your
my investment
your
in it.
investment.
I was very invested, but yeah, no, that wasn't one of the crazy stories. Day of notary, and they're like, you know, I changed my mind. I'm not coming. And I know it happened to a lot of our brokers. A lot of brokers,
Yeah.
period. People just day of change their mind. They're
Yeah.
like, no, you know what? I'm not into it anymore. And I'm
Yeah.
like, not into it. You've been signing papers for 3 months straight on contracts over
Yeah,
contracts.
yeah.
And
No, you're obligated to present
it's
yourself.
yeah, it was interesting. You were gonna say something?
I was gonna say, is it worth it sometimes to? Is it? What can I say? Sometimes you take a step back and you're like, is it worth it? Can I just find on myself another house instead of that hassle of fighting for 9 months?
No,
for that
no,
particular house.
No, wait a second. You went to the bank.
No, I'm
You
just
no,
saying,
but
I'm
but
not-
look at it. But look at it this way.
You bought the
went-
Rolex.
no, you went to the bank.
Yes,
You got the inspector to go there, which you paid for.
right.
The bank approved you for that specific house and that specific address. You went through it thick and thin. You waited months probably
Yeah,
for you to actually go through this, for you to get to that day and say, "What? I got to start over?" No,
So you're fighting no matter
no,
what.
I'm fighting for sure. I'm even fighting more because now at this point, I wonder why they're attached to this house so much.
I mean,
You know
it's
what
fine.
I
I
mean?
want that
Because
piece.
I bought the house because I thought it was a good deal. So if I thought it was
Yeah.
a good deal, I'm happy with it. It's my home now. It's just a formality for me to go to the notary and just transfer everything and get it done once and for all. So for me now, I'm fighting all the way through. And if I have to get out of it, I'm getting out with it with
But
something.
don't you does that mean you let your emotion take over?
No,
that
it's
reaction?
it's
Because-
about
Because I understand it's not convenient. Obviously, it's that
But
house.
listen-
Maybe it's that dream house that
okay,
you
but
found.
listen,
and-
the amount of money that you've invested in the time that you're going to lose for that, especially in a market right now where you see
Yeah,
everything
but-
goes into multiple offers. You really want to go
but
through that again?
9 months. It's a lot to fight for a house.
Yeah,
It's huge.
yeah, but you're probably going to get some extras for that too.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're going to get some extras for that too.
Steve's telling you, Mike, remain calm, breathe.
You gotta read. You gotta read. I'm sure there's another house somewhere.
in this market.
If you're ready, no, but I mean, if you're ready to buy a $3 million house, there's another $3 million house.
Yeah,
that's
but
worth
Jeff,
it.
listen, if you're there going through multiple offers, you're getting stress from your wife, you got kids, and then you just moved out of your place, you have no place to stay, and all this stuff, and you're ready. You're ready to go. You moved into an apartment or a temporary place, or
Yeah,
an
I
Airbnb for a week because on that day you're moving your stuff in. Your stuff is in containers, and now you're gonna tell me what? I gotta start it over.
Are you talking about my
No.
Because I lived in the Airbnb for a week, and
I live in the container.
and my wife putting me pressure and saying you have until November 1st, and
To
that was
make it happen.
yeah, and it was October 28th.
Oh my god. I can just imagine. No, I think it would be a pretty difficult situation for anyone.
Apparently, Steve just went through that same situation.
Steve, did you
So-
fight for it? Did you fight till the end? We want to know. I want to know.
Answer us in the next 2 minutes, Steve, because then the cameras will stop. But to finish up on that, while we're waiting for Steve to let us know if it was him, if he fought for it, I think the final words I would put on that is that in what way, let's say in that $4 million house situation, is me losing it on that
Mhm.
client would have sped up anything.
What do you mean by that?
No, because we
Like
were saying
being
maybe at
pissed
some
or-
point you have to step in it, but maybe, I don't think that would be the time. I think maybe it's if people are. Oh, there you go. Steve said, "I won, got paid."
See? You see?
Steve,
You
got
see?
paid.
Steve got paid.
That's it.
That's all we need.
He stood up for himself.
But not exactly. We don't. They can kiss my something.
Thank you, Steve. So this is why I want
Oh,
Steve on the
man.
pod.
Yeah, just prepare the pre-programmed bleeps. I think will be needed. But yeah, no, I think it'll be interesting situation. Just to finish up, not exactly. So I think maybe when it comes to a client or a particular, they were playing checkers. He's saying so. When it comes to a particular situation, you that has to do with the transaction itself. You have to remain calm. But when I think they attack you maybe personally through the transaction and to a certain degree, that's when maybe we were saying you do have to put your foot down.
The thing is that all these contracts that they sign are protected by the law, the Civil Code of Quebec. So at the end of the day, you just let nature take its course. Whatever's your right is your right, and then you just got to stand by it, and then it'll flow your way.
Well said.
Very
You're so
poetic.
wise on Fridays.
He has a whole weekend ahead of rethinking more poetic things to say on Monday.
No, but Mike thinks a lot. He's a thinker.
He's a very
Mike
deep
is
thinker.
a very deep thinker. Sometimes we're in the office and
Yeah.
we're gonna talk, and after 2-3 minutes, it's silence because I'm focused, and I turn around and I look at Mike. He's looking at the window, and he's just
Mhm.
like,
He's in deep thought.
"Yeah, I got it."
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
good.
got it.
We love you, Mike. It's all good. I
just
won't be with you. All right, gentlemen. Great subject. We'll see you all tomorrow.
And by the way,
Oh,
before we leave, Gabriel, have a wonderful trip, buddy.
thank you, sir.
Enjoy.
All right.
Be
Enjoy your
safe.
trip.